Hey everyone, Pupsker here, and are you ready to complain about Warframe? That's right. In today's video, we are gonna do what we as gamers do best, and that is complain about the game that we play. As you could see by the title of this video that I decided to throw up, I just don't care about any new Warframe items and weapons at this point in the game. What I mean by that is, Warframe as a game is too big now, right? Like, this game has gone on for 10 years, and there's too much stuff. If you go to equipment, search by like weapons, there are 172 primary weapons, 132 secondary weapons, and 205 melee weapons. And with all of the weapon variety, there's not that much actual variety, right? All weapons in melee usually come down to you're spamming E or you're spamming left click and you're killing the enemies. Most secondaries come down to you're left clicking, it either does AoE or not, and they're all dying. Same with like primaries, right? You're either shooting them, you're either killing them with AoE, or you're not, right? Damages numbers are bigger, damage numbers are lower, but at the end of the day, like, different weapons and different Warframes these days don't seem to be that different. And I wanted to mainly bring this up in regards to the brand new Incarnons and the general Incarnon system. Incarnons are Warframe's way to bring weapons to the game without bringing new weapons to the game, right? They're revitalizing all of the old weapons through the Incarnon adapters. Sorry, the adapters. These are the regular Incarnons. But they're upgrading and making other weapons better via Incarnon adapters. My issue is I just don't care. Like, it's so hard for me to care about any of these. I've farmed up a ton of Incarnon weapons right now. The only one I really care to put anything into was the Torrid, because it's just so hard for me to care right now about Warframe. It's probably because I'm burnt out, I've played way too much of the game, and I just have nothing that I need to stream or actually functionally do in the game. I get bored doing level 9999 runs. I'd rather honestly just not ever play the game than do that. I get bored farming arcanes because I have most of them or don't care about it, right? Exactly. It's so hard to care about farming Warframe weapons when you have all the stuff, you're fully caught up, and you're just kind of grinding things for the sake of grinding it, right? I could throw in my Boltor Incarnon, and then it would get damage increases, and it would be a slightly better Boltor. Or I could just keep using the Latum, right? That's the number one annoying thing that Warframe comes down to. I could upgrade the Bratton or Bratton Prime with the Incarnon, or I could just use a Tenant Kuva weapon, or I could just use one of the already incredibly strongly built AoE weapons, right? Like, Warframe, after some time, becomes a game where there's no point in doing anything, much like in other games. There is no point in me ever farming the rest of the Incarnons, or upgrading every single Incarnon weapon like this, because, man, do I just not give a shit about what any of the weapons do, right? For like primary guns, you have a handful of options, right? Maybe the gun will become AoE, maybe the gun will become a beam weapon, or maybe it'll just do more single target. That's really what all of the weapons come down to with Incarnons. They could have burst, they could have non-burst, and they could have a secondary AoE fire, but a lot of Warframe in my mind is now coming down to, okay, we have weapons, what do you want? Do you want single target? No, because it sucks. So you either want beam or you want AoE weapons. Half of the Incarnon weapons turn single target weapons into AoE weapons, which I might add is hilarious after Warframe had the huge AoE weapon ammo nerf like a year ago, right? When they took away a ton of ammo on very popular, heavily used, very well-liked AoE guns. And now we have a bunch of Incarnon weapons that do the exact same thing better, and they have a recharge headshot limit instead of ammo. So Warframe essentially went from year one, nerfing, killing, and borking a ton of AoE weapons, into year two, making new AoE incredibly strong weapons to replace all the old ones. So I just do not care about Warframe weapons anymore, man. The builds half the time are the same. You can do enough damage on most of them to run Steel Path anyways. If you need to, you can equip better weapons, but you probably don't even need to by the time you're running Steel Path, so Man, it's just, I wanted to just yell and complain about the struggles of a long-term, I guess, player who's essentially endgame in Warframe. Nothing matters, everything's really easy, and weapons are all the same, and it's just making me a little sad. The best thing about weapons nowadays for me is how cool they look, the animations that they go off, and honestly, like, just taking a look in Captura. It's just so hard for me to care about the playability of weapons, and I feel bad for everyone who works on Warframe now, because, like, after how many years does it just seem like you're constantly just feeling and playing the exact same thing after years, and you're getting the exact same weapon over and over again, right? I don't know. I just wanted to cry a little bit on video and say it's hard for me to care about anything new in Warframe because I already have everything that I care about in Warframe, and all of the new stuff is just slightly stronger versions of old stuff. Like, Warframe has now become the #1 game, in my mind, for recycling old content, because they just can't make new content fast enough, right? Warframe can't develop brand new content fast enough. That's why we're getting Corrupted Vor, Corrupted Jackal. That's why we're getting all the Incarnon weapons. It's so Warframe doesn't have to recreate a billion different weapons. It's so that they don't have to remastery rank into the game a billion different weapons, right? It's so that you don't have to do it if you don't want to. I'm just all over the place right now with Warframe. I think right now, I like making videos more for Warframe than I do playing Warframe. So I like chilling on Twitch and chilling on YouTube with chat and hanging out, and I like making Warframe videos, but I find it really hard to play Warframe right now, right? It's really hard to play the game right now. Because all new content, like, Duviri was great. I had a lot of fun with Duviri, but once you're done with that, you're just kind of done, right? All of the new content they've brought past Duviri is just rehashed old content. And it fucking sucks for me, man. I just do not care. I love the game, but I just don't love the direction of reusing and everything being meaningless in the game. It's really triggering. It is starting to sound like Destiny. Warframe and Destiny are the same game, in the sense that they suffer the exact same problems, right? The game has a lot of bloat, it has too much to do, it has a lot of recycled stuff, and it doesn't have a lot of interesting new stuff. In one hand, the Incarnon market, the Incarnon forums is a great idea, right? Revitalize old weapons and make them good again for people who farm them. But, like, who cares? It's so hard to care. Why would I want to use this Torrid instead of, let's just say, throwing on a different AoE weapon that I already have built that can kill everything, right? After I made my Latum, like, why bother getting a secondary, let's say, Despair Incarnon, when I could just use my Latum? It has better AoE, right? It's just the internal struggle of having a long-term game like Warframe, like any long-term MMO. There's too much stuff, not enough of it matters, and most of it's all now just fodder. Early to mid-game Warframe is the best time, right? You have a ton of different areas to explore, a ton of different quests, a ton of different weapons. Mid-game is similar, you're still discovering, but when you're at endgame, it's all just grinding and murdering endless enemies pretty mindlessly because the game doesn't have that much challenge. Steel Path has some challenge, but it essentially just means that you have to run publics or run solo with your stronger weapons and your stronger builds to either survive or murder all the enemies, right? It's like, wow, I can throw on Adaptation or Rolling Guard, or maybe I can throw on Quick Thinking if I need, or like what type of build you want. Wow, I don't know. It's just sad. I just wanted to have a little very emo sad game video today talking about in the afternoon. Cause man, I'm just so bored of Warframe right now, and it sucks. I have to wait for updates, and I like to casually make videos. It just sucks because I want to stream a lot, but I don't want to stream Warframe. So it's going to be a very interesting time. I will probably end up always streaming now and just making my Warframe videos live on stream. And honestly, I'm probably going to end up playing less Warframe because I'm just a very casual streamer and I don't got time for that. What about investing more into the Syndicate system or the Kuva/Sister weapons? I mean, it would be cool, but it's still just more strong weapons, right? That's the forever crux of Warframe. No matter what Warframe adds, it's just going to be more of the same in regards to items and weapons. Because you're already a powerhouse murdering machine that can annihilate everything in the game if you put a little effort into it, if you're aware of what you're doing, and if you have mods once you hit endgame, right? So no matter what DE does in regards to weapons, in regards to Warframes, in regards to items, it's just never going to matter that much because everything I already have can nuke the entire star chart. So it's like, wow, new weapons that I have to farm for. Why? I don't know. So yeah, that's essentially the reason why I almost never really bother making weapon or the build videos in regards to weapons. I just don't give a shit, and they're all the same to me, right? Like most build videos in Warframe in regards to weapons are all the same, and it's just like more so a weapon showcase, but any weapon in Warframe could do pretty well and just kill everything. I just wanted to yell at clouds today. The Incarnate market's here. There's a ton of Incarnons. If you like them, I'm glad. I just don't care, right? I just don't care in regards to it anymore. So, yeah. I'll probably have a casual Wisp Prime video out and go over her build, but I don't think I'm ever going to bother having a Gunson Prime video going over the Gunson Prime build, or like a Fullman Prime video going over the Fullman Prime, because, hey, do you have a Fullman? Yeah, move your Fullman build over to your Fullman Prime. You're good to go. It's the same build you've been using. Shocker, right? Except slightly better. So, yeah, Warframe needs crossplay, Warframe needs cross-save, and Warframe doesn't have endgame. It's always been the same issue. This isn't anything new. This has always been the same issue, and it just sucks. So I just wanted to yell about it and upload a video and cry. So I'm a sad boy. I'm a sad boy, but I will be making a lot of other random videos and game stuff. Remnant 2 is pretty fun, so yeah.